Hey there, if you don't know me, my name is Fallout, and today I'm going to be giving you a straightforward, honest, no bullshit review of New World. Fun fact, subbing to my YouTube channel is proven to make you 10% more awesome. Results cannot be measured in any way, but trust me. Okay, New World. I've been thinking about how to give an appropriate TLDR on today's New World review if I ever had to sum up my feelings on the game to somebody completely unfamiliar with video games. Here's what I came up with. Have you ever been invited to a house party, and when you show up, the whole place is really run down? The people at the party you don't know are acting wild, the beer is awful and probably costed $3 for a 24 pack, the house is dirty, smells bad, the place is way too crowded, and the only reason you're really having a good time is because all your friends are there? Well, that, to me, is New World. I want to be upfront and honest. I'm not traditionally an MMO guy. My wife, Anno, plays Final Fantasy XIV, and I've spoken to her about it a lot, but New World is really my first introduction into the world of MMOs. However, even though I'm not an MMO vet, I still think a lot of people can get value out of my New World review today because the game is so popular. You might be wondering if you should buy it if you have also never played an MMO before. I feel like right now would be a good time to give you a quick rundown of what the overall plot of New World is. However, there's not a lot to say. The game takes place in a land called Aeternum, and there's a bunch of magical, supernatural shenanigans going on. I shit you not, that's all I can really tell you about the plot of the game from memory. Now, it's very possible that there's a lot more going on with the in-game story, and the fact that none of it has really soaked into my brain could be a me thing. After all, I've been trying to grind the game pretty hard and level up to reach endgame, but I would be willing to bet a large amount of money that if I pulled a dozen people into a Discord chat with me who have all logged over 100 hours into the game and asked them to explain the plot or main story of New World, they would give a similar answer. TLDR, if you're looking for a game with deep, fantastic lore, compelling characters, cutscenes, captivating story, New World is so not the game for you. There's journal entries and lore pages and stuff scattered around the world, but 99.9% of people that I know all run up to them, mash the T button to read for XP, and then run off. I know I'm really beating a dead horse here, but I have not talked to one person who actually knows or cares about the deep lore or story of New World. Another thing you may be disappointed in if you're an MMO player, the character creation in New World is ass. Total ass. Yeah, you can have wacky, multicolored hairdos, fun facial hair, and a couple of generic tattoos, but that's it. When I watch Anno play Final Fantasy XIV, she plays a giant, jacked, shirtless cat man and runs around with other cool races like short, little, chibi people and hot cat ear girls. I don't know what the races are named, I'm sorry. Point of the story is there are no fun races like that in New World, only plain, boring ass people. Some gamers might like that. I was a little bit let down. There's of course a really big complaint about New World. I'm sure you've heard of it that we should probably get out of the way right now. Amazon was completely unprepared at how popular the game would be, and these servers are terrible. As of right now, if you log on around mid-afternoon Eastern time, yeah, good luck with that, man. You're gonna have to wait anywhere from 1 to 3 hours to get into some of the more popular servers in the game. Yeah, you could make a brand new character in one of the less populated worlds, but where's the fun in that? In fact, some servers are so popular that they are no longer allowing new character creation in those servers, which kind of blows. I think in the future you will be able to transfer characters to another server for free, but for right now, keep in mind that if all your friends are playing on one server, you might not be able to even get in and play with them, which would really suck. Okay, let's quickly talk about something I do enjoy about the game, which is the in-game class system. There isn't any. I was worried that I'd be buried under a mountain of confusing class options, and was even more worried that I'd maybe pick a class that I'd end up not liking, and I'd have to start all over again or something to that degree. Don't get me wrong, there are ways to play New World as if you're a particular MMO class, you know, like a healer, a big DPS dealer, a tank player, and all of that, but there are no specific in-game classes. There's only what weapon do you want to use and what do you want your primary stats to be. Each weapon in the game is linked to a primary and often a secondary stat, so if you want to do well with whatever weapon, just put it on and change your character stats accordingly. You can even shuffle around your character stats stats as often as you want for free until you hit level 20, which I thought was great because it let me fiddle around a bit and figure out what I liked. While some people may not like playing an MMO with a really loosely defined class system like New World, again, I think it's kind of fluid and I enjoyed it. Much like being in college, you can experiment all you want and F around until your heart's content. The more experience you get killing enemies with any particular weapon, the more you will level up unique abilities for that weapon on a weapon skill tree. So yeah, even though you can F around and tinker, sooner or later you'll probably focus in on one weapon or two and grind it out as hard as you can so you can unlock the full potential of using that weapon. Moving on, why don't we talk about the combat in New World? It leaves a lot to be desired. I went into a dungeon with a group of friends, and even though there were only 5 of us there, it was an absolute clusterfuck visually. Things can get out of hand pretty quick, and it can be hard to see what's going on. On top of that, and I really don't know how else to put this, the enemies in New World are boring. Every now and then you get a cool creature or something, but for the most part, it's just corrupted zombie men making weird noises like a drunk Randy Marsh from South Park, kind of a brah, 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 brah noise. It's hard to explain, but if you play the game, you 100% know what I'm talking about. Not only are the enemies kind of bland, but the attack animations are really repetitive. Most enemies I've played just have 1 or 2 routine attack animations, and you're gonna see them a lot. Despite not really getting excited about enemy designs though, I find myself really enjoying the world atmosphere of New World. I know, it's not crazy out there levels of sci-fi, it's really just kind of a magic colonial forest vibe, but there will be times when you're out in the wild and you find yourself thinking, damn, it's really pretty out here. Questing in New World falls under the same umbrella to me as the lore and overall story. Nothing to write home about at all. Very repetitive, flat out dull. Go to a town, talk to a person who gives you a quest, go out into the wild and do one of 2 things. Either kill X number of Y enemies in this particular location, or go to that particular location and find X number of things in chests around the area. Return to town, turn in quest, get XP and a loot drop, then get another quest from that same person, rinse and repeat. Gonna be completely honest, I don't really know what I'm even agreeing to half the time. Yeah, good to see ya, NPC. Here's that quest you wanted me to do. Oh, another one? Yeah, sure, why the hell not? The crafting system in New World, though, has me intrigued. I haven't really dove very deep into it yet, but from what I've seen in each town, I'm actually kind of excited to go further into the in-game crafting. I know most people out there might not be into this kind of thing, but running out into the wild to chop down a few trees or harvest a few herbs, I actually found that fairly relaxing. Is it grindy? Oh, you bet your ass, but it is relaxing grindy. I can put a movie on my second monitor or something like that and grind out a few chores for a few crafting projects later. I'll get to more positives shortly, but I want to get a few more things out of the way first. Swimming. Why the can I not swim in New World? If you enter a large body of water, you literally walk to the bottom of the river and or lake and or ocean. Kind of a nitpick? Yeah, maybe, but it's weird and I don't like it. I've had people tell me, well, it's realistic. You're walking around with tons of heavy gear on. First of all, oh, you care about realism now? I can put on an ice gauntlet and throw cold magic at a 50-foot red tentacle coming out of the ground. But yeah, let's make sure we go all in on that anti-swimming realism. And second of all, even if you take all your gear off and go into the water nude, same story. So to you, I say good day. Another thing I want to vent about real quick, every now and then you'll have a quest where you'll have to kill a mini boss in a particular area. So you'll go to that area and you'll find yourself standing around with 30 other dudes all camping the area who are also waiting to kill that same mini boss. Eventually the mini boss will spawn in and it's like throwing a tiny handful of breadcrumbs into an overcrowded duck pond. Everyone goes crazy trying to land 2 hits so they'll get credit for the boss kill, but sometimes you get boxed out and it's just awful. One time I spent about half an hour waiting in one cave to get the credit for killing 1 boss. Not sure how you would fix that, but I found it dumb and annoying. Okay, so I've been pretty hard on the game in almost every category, and you might be wondering, is there any reason at all to play it? And I think, yeah, there is. The PvP. I haven't done much of it yet, but what I have touched was really fun, and I can see the appeal for doing more. There's a few different kinds of PvP in New World. You got the traditional traditional method, which is going into a town and flagging yourself for PvP, meaning the next time you step outside of that town, you're fair game to any other person who also has PvP turned on. It's hard to explain, but there's a really exhilarating feeling when you roll out of town with a group of friends, all with PvP turned on. It's like you're a gang of people looking for trouble, for better or worse. You could find a lone PvP player from a different faction and descend on them like a bunch of hungry lions on a young lone gazelle, or you could run into an equally large group and all hell will break loose. The thrill of running out into the wild knowing that you can jump or be jumped by other people is appealing to me anyway. In addition to that kind of PvP, there are also wars that you can sign up for in each town. Remember the factions that I mentioned way earlier? There are 3 of them and they are constantly going to war with one another. Sign up for the war in advance, then log in at the exact date and time, and maybe be drafted into that war. Full disclosure, again, I'm being honest here, I have not yet fought in a war. Tried to, didn't get picked. It's like 2nd grade kickball all over again. But I have watched a few other content creators in a war and it looks so damned fun. Fun as in my main goal for New World right now is to level up and create a PvP build so I can clap cheeks with other people in a faction war. All my content homies are in the Syndicate, one of the in-game factions, and the constant wild trash talk going on in the in-game feed honestly gives me life. I think if New World didn't have factions in it, people would care way less about the game. But there are factions, and for some reason they drive crazy levels of competition and rivalry between friends and complete strangers in New World. There's another type of PvP called Outpost Rush, which is a 20v20 activity, not as big as War, but you have to be level 60, aka endgame level, in order to join. Same story there for me. I haven't played it yet, but I've seen what it's about, and I'm really in. Between wanting to sign up for a faction war and wanting to hit up Outpost Rush, I am totally motivated to keep grinding New World. Like I mentioned earlier, New World is a party. That's good because your friends are there. If they weren't, I probably wouldn't be at that party. I think New World has a lot of problems and is lacking in a lot of important areas, but I am motivated to keep playing it because my homies are there and the faction v faction rivalries are fun, and I can't wait to jump into that part of the endgame. The good news is that even though the game is flawed, it's only $40, which isn't bad at all, and we're only about 1 week in right now. I can completely imagine New World sticking around for a very long time and only getting better and better with each passing season. Oh, and real quick, apparently the game can maybe fry your graphics card? Lol? Might want to look into that, could be important. If you enjoyed today's review, do me a favor and click the like button, and share your thoughts with me down in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitch. Both are free to do, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.